In December of 2013, a 108-year-old man rode the elevator up to his Madison Avenue office. He sat down at his desk, opened the Wall Street Journal, and went to work. His name was Irving Kahn. And he'd been doing this exact routine for 85 years. Most investors don't last 20 years. Kahn lasted nearly 9 decades. He started before the crash of 1929. He was still working when the iPhone launched. And what he learned in that span is the closest thing this profession has to a cheat code. Stick around. The lesson isn't about living longer. It's about what happens when discipline compounds for an entire lifetime. The summer of 1929. Wall Street is euphoric. Shoeshine boys are giving stock tips. Taxi drivers are leveraged to the eyeballs. And a 23-year-old kid named Irving Kahn does the unthinkable. He shorts a copper company called Magma Copper. His friends thought he was crazy. The market only goes up, right? Then October arrived. The Dow crashed almost 90% over the next 3 years. And Kahn made money on his very first trade. Here's what most people miss about that story. Kahn wasn't lucky. He'd done the work. He'd read the balance sheets. He'd noticed the same thing his future mentor would later call a market untethered from value. That moment shaped everything. Because once you've seen the crowd be that wrong, you stop trusting the crowd. Ever again. A year before that trade, Kahn took a job he'd remember for the next 80 years. He became Benjamin Graham's teaching assistant at Columbia Business School. Think about that for a second. The man who literally wrote the book on value investing, and Kahn was the guy carrying his notes. Graham taught him 3 things that would become Kahn's North Star. 1. Price and value are not the same thing. 2. The market is a manic-depressive partner, not a wise one. And 3. Your edge is patience, not prediction. Kahn helped Graham research parts of Security Analysis, the 1934 book that built modern investing. He sat in classrooms with a young Warren Buffett a few years later. He watched Graham personally invest in Geico in 1948, a position that would compound for decades. Kahn didn't just learn value investing. He helped build it. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Most investors quit by 65. Kahn was just getting started. In 1978, at age 73, he founded Kahn Brothers Group with his sons. While Wall Street chased high-flying tech stocks in the 1990s, Kahn Brothers was buying boring, beaten-down value names. Insurance companies, drug makers, newspapers nobody wanted. Their famous holdings tell the story. They held positions in companies like the New York Times Company and Pfizer for years and years. They didn't trade. They waited. Kahn used to say he never bought a stock he wasn't comfortable holding for at least 3 years. And in a world obsessed with the next quarter, that mindset was a superpower. By the time Kahn turned 100, his firm was managing roughly $1 billion. He was still showing up 4 days a week. Still reading annual reports. Still asking the question Graham taught him in 1928, what is this business actually worth? Researchers at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine studied Kahn and his siblings. 3 of them lived past 100. Scientists wanted to know why. The answer wasn't just genetics. Kahn ate simply. Walked when he could. Avoided cigarettes after seeing his colleagues die from them. But the real secret was that he never stopped using his mind. In his late hundreds, he was still reading 3 newspapers a day. Still debating ideas with his analysts. Still curious. There's a deep lesson there for investors. The same discipline that builds wealth, patience, learning, refusing to chase fads, is the same discipline that builds a long, useful life. Kahn used to joke that he'd never been bored a single day. How many people can say that at 108? He passed away in February of 2015, just 2 months after his 109th birthday. He was, by then, the oldest active investor on Wall Street. Possibly the oldest in history. Here's the principle Irving Kahn's life proves more clearly than anyone else's. Investing doesn't reward speed. It rewards endurance. Most people try to win in a year. Kahn tried to win across a lifetime. And that's the difference between gambling and compounding. The market is a weighing machine, Graham said. But weighing takes time. The investors who win are the ones still standing on the scale decades later. So here's my question for you. What's the longest you've ever held a single investment? 1 year? 5? 10? Drop it in the comments, I read every one. And if Kahn's story changed how you think about time in the market, hit subscribe. Tomorrow we're going to break down a single annual report, line by line, the exact way Graham taught Kahn to read them. Until then, be patient. Be curious. And remember, the best investors aren't the smartest. They're the ones who simply refuse to stop showing up.